Warning.
This show contains mature content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
One angry New York City Puerto Rican decided to start a radio show, determined to piss the world off by shoving a mirror in front of society's face. He kicked them in the balls.
What are you? Who are you?
This is the Crotch Shot Radio Show. Crotch Shot Radio Show.
This is not a test. This is a broadcast transmission.
We're going to stay on the air.
And now, Louie Bee.
Yo! Welcome to the Crotch Shot Radio Show, where we kick the issues in the balls. We are on an active war against BS. We would do anything and everything to expose it. The ends sometimes justify the means. So if you're angry and want the truth exposed, then strap in and prepare to be shocked. This is Smash Mouth Talk. If you can't accept that, then F off. I am your host, Louie Bee. I take no crap from nobody. I expose crap in society, and I drag it into the sunlight and let the UV rays disinfect it, leaving society with a nice, fresh pine scent. I'm just kidding. Well, today won't be any different. I am proud. This is going to be one of those shows that is going to boost my ego for the rest of my life. I am very honored to have YouTube legend, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I know I'm probably gonna I'm putting a lot of pressure on him now, but YouTube legend, New York City, Nycresistance. You have to subscribe to him on YouTube, Nycresistance. He exposes racism and police corruption in New York City. And that's not all we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about race relations. We're going to be talking about the latest in police brutality. And, wherever the conversation takes us. Feel free and chat. We got the chat room going on at rantinglouieb.blogspot.com/listen live. If you're listening on Spreaker, you can hit us up there. You could send us questions if there's anything you want Nycresistance to answer. Feel free. And now, without further ado, Mr. Nycresistance, how are you doing today, sir? Uh-oh.
I'm doing great. It's great to be on your program. Sorry for that. I didn't have my microphone turned on, but everything's good to go. Really appreciate that introduction.
Yes, sir. YouTube legend. So,
good to be here.
Yeah, I mean, let's get started with the simple stuff. What made you want to get started? Well, what got you started filming police harassment?
Well, when I first started filming the police harassment, it was for my own protection. I was being stopped on a regular basis, and a lot of times being verbally mistreated, being threatened by the police officers, and I knew what they was doing was wrong. Mm-hmm. But my word against theirs, I know I'm going to lose every time. So I started, driving around with my camera, carrying my camera with me everywhere I go in case they stop me, so I have some evidence in case I'm falsely arrested or charged with something that I didn't do. So, it all started with, just me trying to protect myself. And then I said, why stop here? I'm seeing other people getting stopped by police. Let me stop and see what happens with them. If is the same thing that happened to me gonna happen to them? And lo and behold, the same thing was happening. So I started recording other people's incidents or interactions with the NYPD as well, and started posting it on my YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. So how have you how have you evolved from when you started to where you're at now, and what plans do you have on the next phase?
Well, how I evolved, I started with a fresh slate.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really into this whole racism thing, and white and black, and I grew up thinking that, feeling that everybody was the same, regardless of our skin color, where you come from, how you speak, whatever. Because, I was born and raised in New York City, educated in the public school system, and, basically taught, the police are our friends and here to help us. And, but when I was interacting with them in the streets, it wasn't the same perception I had of them when, like with my teachers and everybody, you see them on television and the movies and, the NYPD, they're always helping people. But every time I, interacted with them, they were rude to me and very threatening, to me. So I was basically taught over the years that, I'm always going to be seen as a black man in New York City as some sort of criminal or a potential threat. And I always had to prove myself that that I was innocent of whatever this police officer in his mind thought I was guilty of. So I always was in that place in those circumstances where I had to prove my innocence, even though I'd done nothing wrong and there was no reason to believe I had done something wrong. So, over the years, especially after posting so many videos on my YouTube channel of police violating people's rights, mostly black and Latino men of color, I seen that nothing changed, and after a while, I just figured, I reached the conclusion that this is the way it's supposed to be, that the police are here to target people who are non-white, not that they don't target white people, they do, but not to the degree they target black and Latinos. So I just realized that this is the way the system is designed to target men of color, and to ticket them or arrest them and just make their life impossible. So I just stopped this whole thing, trying to bring it to the courts, because I thought that, if the higher ups see it, if the police commissioner and the mayor see it, that things would change. But the old mayor Bloomberg and police commissioner Kelly, they seem in on it. They seem like they're behind it, and they support the cops targeting black men and Latinos. And I was just like, what, I just got to wake people up and let people know that the police are not what you think they are. They're not here to protect you. They're here to hurt you. They're here to basically use you to generate revenue and funnel you into the criminal justice system. So, that's about it.
Well, this is kind of like a common thing that let me play devil's advocate with this question. What do you say to when people say, well, maybe you were dressed a certain way and acting a certain way, and that's why you made yourself a target? I mean,
well, I've seen, people say that. They say, if you dress a certain way, if you don't wear a hoodie, if you don't sag your pants and this and that. But, I've seen people in a suit, stopped by the NYPD. I've seen people wearing all sorts of different attire being harassed and mistreated and brutalized by the NYPD. So, I have the evidence that it really doesn't matter how you're dressed, how courteous you are to the cops. They're still going to treat you any way they determine in their mind to treat you. It does play some effect, how nice you are or how you're dressed, but, it really doesn't matter. If the cop already has it in his mind that, your skin color makes you a potential criminal, and he's not going to pay attention to what you're wearing. He's going to treat you like a criminal based on your skin color, not on your clothing.
Right. So, have you seen that the police have gotten progressively worse when it comes to, well, what would you call this, racial profiling or just plain harassment?
Well, it is racial profiling because they primarily go after people who are non-white. Nobody could disagree with that. And, it's kind of gone underground where, you know, they're more sneaky about it. I see like more stop and frisk happening at nighttime or on dark, deserted streets where there aren't a lot of onlookers. They're more cautious when people are filming them. They want to tell you to go over there, go down the block, get away. They want to they turn their attention to anybody who might be filming them because they don't want any evidence of their misconduct being recorded. So police officers are definitely very hip to people filming them, and they might end up on somebody's YouTube channel or in the newspaper. So, you know, they're a little bit more cautious, but they still have not stopped.
Do you think they're teaching like the new recruits this at the police academy to stop people of color?
Definitely. You have some police officers that have made recordings during roll call of their supervisors or commanders telling them to go after black men of a certain age group. So they're being told directly in the precinct who to go after. You know, they're not just allowed to just walk around autonomously like looking for crime. You know, they're told specific. They're put in certain areas and told who to go after. You know, that's why most times when you see, especially rookie cops, you always see them writing something in their notepad because they're being micromanaged. They're being told what to do. Every move they make has to be logged in their little notepad. You know, so the higher ups know exactly what they're doing on a consistent basis. Everything's being categorized and written down. So, you know, their mind is always on basically hunting. So it doesn't matter what type of mindset these cops have when they join the force. After a while, through all this writing in the notepad, what I did, how many stops I made, how many tickets they wrote, they become conditioned to basically target the people that they're supposed to be serving and protecting. That's from what I've noticed.
Do they do the same thing with the police officers of the black police officers and the Latino police officers? Let me rephrase my question. Have you seen any Hispanic and black police officers harassing black and Hispanic people?
Yeah, because you have these rookie cops. You have these new cops that join the force, and they're hiring a lot of black and Latinos to make the NYPD appear to be more racially diverse. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that what they don't like to talk about, they don't like to talk about the quotas. And we would have never known about the quotas had some cops not recorded the fact that their high ups are telling them that, you know, we need more numbers. We need you to make more stops and write more tickets and all this and that. So it doesn't really matter how many black or Latino officers they hire. These cops have quotas. They have to write a certain amount of tickets. They have to make a certain amount of arrests. And then they're placed in areas that their superiors want to place them in, which are these high crime areas that happen to be where black and Latinos live. Mm-hmm. You know, so all the high crime areas, you know, are the places where minorities live. So then they put these new recruits that are black and Latinos in these high crime areas, and they give them quotas, saying that you have to meet these numbers or you're going to be penalized. You know, you're going to have your sick days taken away. We're going to put you in some far away from where you live. If you live in the Bronx, we're going to send you all the way to Staten Island. Or if you live in the Bronx, we're going to send you to Long Island. So in order for the officer to make the job easier, he wants to meet these numbers by writing a certain amount of tickets, even if they're frivolous, you know, for like jaywalking, talking back, spitting on the sidewalk, going into a park and, you know, after hours to drink some water out the fountain, you know, whatever it is, they're going to find a reason to write these tickets so that they're not punished or penalized. So, you know, you basically have black and Latinos feeding on their own just so their job is made easier. So it really doesn't matter how many minority cops they hire. They're turned into the same thing that the European cops used to do. They're still harassing the same way because their job depends on it.
So, I mean, why are we the target? I mean, what's the end game? What's the purpose of doing that? Especially since this is a point that I wanted to make. Well, we spoke last night, but especially since a lot of the whites are starting to the white population is starting to dip because of infertility.
What's the end game is that black and Latinos, we're the easiest target because we're the least likely to be able to defend ourselves in court. You know, we're the least likely to be able to afford a lawyer to defend us. So we make easy targets. We're the ones that are more likely to plead, you know, guilty or take pleas to things that we didn't do, just so it would all go away. You know, we don't have to risk being, you know, found guilty or having to do time, you know, for whatever. So, you know, white people, a lot of them can afford legal representation to beat false charges, whereas a lot of Black and Latinos in poor neighborhoods can't. We're easy targets for now, and you know, I mean, white people are seeing it too. Like the ones that choose to be honest, they know that we're being unjustly targeted, and they know that they're next. You know, but right now they're doing it through incremental stages. You know, going after the ones who are least likely to be able to defend ourselves, which are the Black and Latinos. But later on, after we're all impoverished or incarcerated, then, you know, they're going to start going after poor whites more and more. But that's, you know, that's being a futuristic. That's looking into the future. You know, those who are smart enough, they know that they're not going to be able to escape the injustice that's mainly being focused on Latinos right now. They know in the future that they're next. So, you know, you have some white people stand up for, you know, Black and Latinos now, knowing that later on down the line they're going to be the next targets.
Yeah, I mean, you know, looking on your channel, I see that you interview a lot of people after they've been stopped. What's the common thread that connects all these people that you've interviewed that been stopped?
Well, the common thread is that all of them seem to be happy that someone took the time to record what was happening to them. I've noticed a sign of relief. They were all thankful that I stopped. It humanized them. It made them feel like they were human once again. You know, when you're stopped by a police officer and you're trying to convince him that you are a human being, I'm just like you. I'm not the criminal that you're looking for. I've done nothing wrong, and you're trying to appease him, and you're trying to make him realize that you made a mistake. Whatever suspicions you have, you're wrong, but you're trying to do it in a nice way by talking to him like an intelligent human being. You know, you're following all his orders. You're calling, you're yes sirring or no sirring him to death. I mean, whether it's a male or female officer, you know, you're addressing them appropriately. And a lot of times, you know, they act like they're doing you a favor by releasing you, even though you committed no crime. Sometimes they say, you know, go on, get out of here, you know, before I decide to put you in a lineup, or, you know, like, you know, don't let me see you again for the rest of the night. A lot of times they do that. They're very rude. They're very arrogant, no matter how nice you are. And when I approach an individual or individuals that have been stopped by the NYPD, they're always happy that I'm there. They're able to talk and express what just happened to them. And they're able to tell their side of the story, you know. So it basically it basically makes them feel like a human being again. And then when I post it on my YouTube channel, the viewers get to see that, hey, this person is a human being. This person is a lot of times very intellectual, very knowledgeable, very intelligent, the person that I interviewed. And you know, it makes them realize that the people that the NYPD are targeting are not criminals. They didn't deserve what just happened to them. They should have never experienced that in the first place. And one time I read a psychological study where they did a test, and they said that, you know, the people who are stopped by NYPD are more likely to, especially youth that are stopped and frisked by police officers, are more likely to engage in delinquent behavior than those that are not stopped. So it actually affects and transforms your brain and your behavior into something that it will more move you into becoming a criminal or engage in a criminal activity later on in life. So, you know, this might be deeper than even I imagined when I first got involved recording this. This could be actually something that's being done on purpose to criminalize non-whites, to justify this growing police state, which will eventually consume and enslave everybody, basically.
So basically what you're saying is because, you know, blacks and Latinos get treated like criminals, they're more than likely to say, if I'm going to be treated like a criminal, I might as well become one.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Anybody who has ever been accused of something repeatedly, you know, one day you say, you know what, I'm going to be accused of this anyway. I just do it. You know, it's like, I mean, we all grow up trying to become a part of this system. We're all told, you know, if you go to school and you work hard, you could be something. But, you know, what's the reality? You know, we go to school and then when we leave school, we're stopped by the police officers. You know, we're patted down like criminals, like we just robbed a bank or robbed a store when we did nothing wrong. You know, we're treated like criminals. And then we come home and then, you know, we watch television. We watch like these movies and these television shows of people committing crime. But, you know, a lot of them, they seem successful for a while. You know, they rob, they steal, they sell drugs. They get a big mansion. They get a fancy car. They get a lot of women. They look like there's a chance they could be successful. So everybody who tries it, you know, who tries to sell drugs or engage in criminality because, you know, they're being treated like a criminal their whole youth and most of their adult life. And then one day they say, you know what? I think I could be smarter than that person in that rap video or that gangster movie. I think I'm gonna be the one who is successful and I get away with it. You know, so everybody thinks that, you know, they're gonna be a little bit smarter than the person that did it before. So you have all these Black and Latinos just, you know, living this life, you know, well, not all, but, you know, a lot of them, they look at it as an option because school is just too difficult, you know, or they're just running into too many problems trying to fit into society. Whereas they're always a target, they're always being accused. So, you know, they just give up and say, and they say, you know what, since all the cops I come across think I'm a criminal, you know what, I'm going to be the best criminal I can be, and they're never going to catch me, and I'm going to be successful, just as successful as any white person that, you know, is a doctor or living through legal and lawful means. So, yeah, some people, they take these channels of criminality thinking that, you know, hey, why not? I'm already suspicious to every cop that sees me. I'm going to make him suspicious for a good reason.